Hi everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us as we take a look at your weekend forecast. And we've got this big low coming in, so the weather is looking fairly messy across New Zealand. Here's Friday's satellite map, courtesy of the Japanese Meteorological Agency. And as you can see, big bright white clouds coming into the South Island. That is that thick high cloud. And in fact, in the Deep South, around Southland, a frost followed by the cloud, followed by a few spits of rain. So a very bleak, cold start to the day in Southland. In the north, also bleak and cold, but it was fog. That was the main feature. That's what you see there in the peach colour around Auckland, Waikato, and also stretching around parts of Bay of Plenty and into the Central Plateau. So those foggy areas are starting to clear away as we head in towards Friday afternoon. And this is why. Friday afternoon sees these northerly winds coming through. They're helping to produce the heavy rain on the west coast. Subtropical northerlies do tend to produce heavy rain. So that's what we're seeing slowly moving northwards. And as that moves northwards, the northerly winds will start to move down across the North Island. That will clear away any remaining fog or low cloud across your Friday and in towards Saturday. So Saturday looks like this. That northerly wind continues to pick up over the North Island. And in fact, it gets quite strong and blustery during the day as the system moves in. It's a squash zone between the low pressure there and the high pressure just out off East Cape. So the winds pick up, the rain intensifies over the North Island gradually across the day. It may well be dry in some areas to start with, and the heaviest downpours will be on the west coast and the northwestern corner of the South Island, around the Nelson area and north of Hokitika, for example. And then as we head in towards Saturday night and Sunday, that northwestern heavy rain in the South Island shifts to the northwestern side of the North Island. And meanwhile, Southland, Otago, your drier than average trend continues. Now to Sunday, and this was always the messiest day to forecast, with the middle of the low moving in. The weather is, the winds are sort of all over the place. They're variable. So we're seeing easterlies or southeasterlies for some areas down here, northerlies for others, and northwesterlies turning westerly later on as it moves in. So Sunday's a pretty messy day with a mixture of downpours in the east, showers and sunny spells for most other places though. And then once we get to Monday, the middle of the low, well, there's sort of more than one area of it. There's the main centre there, if you like, but there's another centre off to the east coast of the North Island. That basically means there's a fair amount of calm weather in the middle here. Meanwhile, a cold southerly or southeasterly moves into the lower South Island. It will be pretty wintry with snow showers along the ranges there, and that might affect a couple of the alpine passes. Just be aware of that on Monday. And then elsewhere, showers continue with colder south to southwest winds moving in. And we end on Tuesday, where that big area of low pressure is finally clearing away from New Zealand. We've got the colder southerly behind it, so it'll be a cooler day on Tuesday. And note the pattern coming in. Another low and more sort of high pressure to our north now that we're into that middle part of winter. The highs are tracking up in this area and also a couple down in the southern area still, but the lows are now the main feature coming through. And I think the change we're going to see in July is perhaps a bit more of the wet weather on the west coast and a bit more of the westerly winds around New Zealand. That is all from me. Have a fantastic weekend and we'll see you again on Monday.